Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Big game this evening, Juventus Stuttgart. If until yesterday I was not yet in that Champions League mood, in the Champions League mode, because you know it, and we are playing one after the other, you didn't even digest that last minute win against Lazio, that you're already thinking about another competition. Something that us Juventini unfortunately we're not used to last season because we played one competition only. So I had to make that switch that I was able to do this morning, especially reading and opening the papers, seeing Juventus everywhere, thinking about Juventus Stuttgart of this evening, before starting to speak about the latest updates, and we have some big ones. Let me say that I wish good luck to all the Juventini of the world from this channel that are at the stadium this evening. They send me messages, but we are there. I wish you luck, and I hope that you bring us luck, like I did during Juve Lazio. Now it's your turn. We count on you, Juventini. For the other one that are staying at home and are watching the channel, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. You know it, how important it is, and more you are doing it, better it is. And it's really working. So maximum of like, subscribe, and comment. I want the prediction. Juve Stuttgart, and if possible, please also let me know who scores this evening. Now that we did the basics, let's go towards the squad list. We see that we have 3 goalkeepers. No Di Gregorio, red card against Leipzig. Dafara has been called up. It will be Perin that will start the game today. For the defenders, we have no news. Bremer is not there. We know it. All the other ones are there. And then midfield and forward, well, there are not really news. Koopmeiners is not there. We'll try to recuperate against Inter. Nico Gonzalez is still not there. He will have really difficulties to be there against Inter. So they are speaking about Parma, if not the next one. On the other side, we are recuperating Weston McKennie. And I want to come back on Weston McKennie, why he's playing eventually today. Words by Timo Weah in the Athletics. And then also Conceição, that I'm still pissed off because of that simulation double yellow card. He was banned against Lazio, and I'm sure that we needed him. Conceição that is finishing in all the front pages today. He will be important. He will be extremely important. There is that curiosity to see him doing again what he did against Leipzig. Ancora CHICO, ancora CHICO, ancora CHICO. No, there is no Arda Guler in the squad list. For the people that are away from social media will tell me, Beppe, what are you speaking about? Arda Guler. Yesterday, the Juventus Twitter English account has been hacked, and someone... Guys, I don't want to blame anyone. I don't want to point finger to anyone. But look, I think I have that feeling that it was someone from Turkey that took over the Instagram, the Twitter account of Juve, writing, "Welcome to Juventus, Arda Guler, rising star of football, is now part of the Juventus family." I would have been extremely happy if it was a real tweet, if it was a reality. Strange in October, these kinds of transfers, especially because it's not a free agent. But I would have been extremely happy because I like the player. But of course, it is absolutely not true, so he will not be called up because it's a Real Madrid player. Probably he will be there. Surely he will be there against Dortmund, Real Madrid, Dortmund. But you know what it makes me think, and then we continue towards the game of today. It makes me think that the Turkish community that has interest for Juve is growing constantly. Kenan Yildiz is a huge, big factor of that, and I'm extremely happy for that, because Turkish fans are extremely passionate. So if you have some Turkish connections, if you have, send them the channel so that they know that they can be here to follow the journey of Kenan Yildiz in Bianconero, and who knows, maybe in the future also Arda Guler, but not today. Fate I grandi, that's the title of Gazzetta dello Sport. Let's show that you are big. With Leao in huge, with Dusan Vlahovic in huge, both of them screaming and celebrating a goal, and they are correct, do the bigs. And then it's quite funny because it's going into contradiction with the big title and also the big pictures. Fate I grandi, so do the big, show that you're big, and then they put really small Orsolini in a square somewhere on the right side of the page. Really small Orsolini there. Like, okay, do the big, but we don't care at all to Bologna. I think it's really disrespectful. Seriously. Okay, it's true they are playing against Aston Villa. It will be a tough game for them. I understand they don't have on paper a lot of chances, but I think it's really disrespectful. Seriously. Because also for them, you know, it's maybe even more important because when will they be in the future again in Champions League? So it's a bit a pity, but anyway, we don't care because we need to speak about Juve. And today is an important game for what reason? Because Opta simulations told us if you have 9 points, 99% you go towards the secured qualification to the playoff game. So entering the last 24, which is important because you know it, the first 8, they go directly to the knockout stages, the round of 16. For the other ones, from the 9th position to the 24, they play a home and away game against each other. So 2 more games to see the winner there if they go through or not. So with 9 points, you can already have that, and you will be sure that you are not eliminated immediately after 8 games. Then you need 16 points to go through the next day, to qualify to the 8 first teams, which would be extremely fantastic. I tell you that if we win today with 9 points, we will play the other games without the stress of being obliged to be in the 24. And I can tell you that that competition, the Champions League, could have a really beautiful turn for Juventus, accumulating a lot of points because you don't have that pressure anymore. So that's why it's extremely important today to have the 9 points on 9. Aria di Juve. We feel in the air Juve. On Corriere dello Sport, they decided actually to put Vlahovic and Conceição on that first page. So a lot of Juventinità with smaller Milan, with smaller Bologna, but a lot focus on Juve. And it's true that today, when I'm thinking about Champions League, I'm not really thinking about Milan, Bruges. I'm not thinking that much about Aston Villa against Bologna, but I'm really thinking about Juve, of course. I am a Juve channel, makes sense. But yeah, I feel it, the Champions League mode now. Let me know if you feel as well. Who will play? Well, looks like they are telling us the lineup, also what has been tested yesterday. THIAGO Motta said nothing, but Perin should be in the goal. Savona on the right side, Cabal on the left side, in the middle Danilo and Kalulu. Fagioli in a 4-1-4-1 there, between the defense and the midfield, with Conceição on the right, Yildiz on the left, Weston McKennie and Douglas Luiz behind Dusan Vlahovic. When we see that lineup, there is one thing that comes in mind. Turnover. Turnover, 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 turnover. For what reason? Well, probably because you're looking at Tuttosport title, Provaci ancora CHICO. Try again, CHICO Conceição. But on the other side, you see there above, Inter. Stress for Çalhanoğlu. Why stress for Çalhanoğlu? Because you know it, and Acerbi and Çalhanoğlu, they had that injury in the last game against Roma in the beginning of the game, in the first half. They went out, and of course, on Sunday, you have the big game. From what I know, from what I heard, they are at huge big risk of missing the game Inter-Juve on Sunday. But that's something that we will come back. But maybe THIAGO Motta is already thinking a bit about that, because in the lineup that we see, no Gatti, no Cambiaso, 2 big players that are resting, no Locatelli, no Thuram. We saw them playing against Cagliari together. We saw them playing against Lazio together. Today they changed. So the question I have now, because you know it, we start to discover THIAGO Motta, but we don't know him really, really well, is are we really also playing a turnover in the midfield with Fagioli, Weston McKennie there? And that's the turnover. That's the B choice of THIAGO Motta, because he's really focusing on Lazio and Inter as the important games that you are obliged to win, that you really want to win, playing Locatelli, Thuram? Or is it actually Fagioli, McKennie that is really the starters player, the most in top player, you know, in the big games that you really need to win, that you play with Fagioli, McKennie? I think that we'll have that answer against Inter, of course, if you don't have extra injuries, to understand really who is, or at least 2 out of the 3, because Koopmeiners is one that, if fit, is there. But who are the other 2 that are there starting? I'm really curious. Wea will give us a bit an answer about why Weston McKennie is playing. But is it the right choice or not? The only thing that we will say is after the game. If we win, it was the right choice of THIAGO Motta. If we don't win, then it was not the right choice of THIAGO Motta. Who am I counting on a lot? Of course, I'm curious to see Conceição. I missed him against Lazio. Provaci ancora Conceição. Provaci ancora CHICO is the title of Tuttosport. Try again, CHICO. Let us dream again. You are the one that is able to dribble your men, that go on target. And that's the one that I'm counting really on, is the extra weapon, is that decisive person. Not only Conceição, but a lot of ex-Juve players, they spoke really well about the one that is surprising all of us. Of course, he doesn't finish a lot on the first pages because it's not a striker, because it's not an assist man, but it is Pierre Kalulu. Ciro Ferrara spoke about him, saying, Kalulu, what a signing. And he will score this evening. So a beautiful prediction of Ciro Ferrara, ex-Juve legend, that says he will do it. And then you also have Fabrizio Ravanelli. Ferrara and Ravanelli won the Champions League in '96 with Juve. They spoke about him. Ravanelli even made the effort to go under the Instagram page of Kalulu, writing him, great performance against Lazio, a real leader performance. You are a real leader. Congratulations, and continue with that huge humiltà, being humble. Continue being humble like all the big champions like you. Beautiful words from Ravanelli. But seriously, if it comes from a Ravanelli that is working with Marseille, that decides to go under the post of a Juve player telling him, and it's not a striker, Kalulu is a defender, going there and saying, continue with that humility, being humble to play like you do with a fantastic performance is really beautiful. Beautiful stats also for him. Not only in defense, but also it's the fourth, I believe, or sixth defender in Serie A with the most accurate passes in second half, or in opposition half. I'm sorry, in opposition half. So beautiful, really, really beautiful. Was it really a third choice, or was he maybe the first choice? And Calafiori and Todibo were actually a bit of fools from Cristiano Giuntoli. We will never know. We will never know. Another one that I'm expecting a lot this evening is Kenan Yildiz. Yes, it's true. Dusan Vlahovic is looking for his 9th goal in Champions League, but Kenan Yildiz, that is starting to receive some criticism from journalists. I think absolutely not fair, but I also start seeing some Juventini. Guys, I told you, I will repeat you, the player that impressed me the most live was Kenan Yildiz. Was really Kenan Yildiz. Is always doing the right thing to do when possible. Of course, they know how he plays, and they will always go with 2 men to block him, but he's doing what THIAGO Motta is doing. If Conceição is able to dribble his man and shot on target, this is what I'm expecting from our Turkish number 10 this evening. So I'm counting a lot of him, and then if I'm totally honest, criticism is absolutely welcome. You can also criticize because, yes, it's true, he's only 19, but he plays in a club like Juve, so you can praise when they are doing well. You can criticize, but I prefer the criticism a bit a la Totti. Totti that said today he is a talent. But guys, don't compare him with Del Piero. And if you read the article, it's even saying, don't compare him with Del Piero yet. Del Piero is the history of Juve. Del Piero did so much to Juve that it's really tough. The number 10 is already tough. The 10 from Del Piero is even more tough. Give him time, but he's a real talent. We will see him growing surely. These were the words of Francesco Totti, and I like that. Yes, not perfect. He can grow, but he's a talent. On the other side, Ciro Ferrara also said that it's not only the players, the individuals, but also the team. The team of Motta, according to Ferrara, reminds him of Lippi 96, the one that won the Champions League. He said Motta is a Lippi style. Guys, if you tell me that, I'm extremely happy. And to confirm it a bit, we saw that the first victory, 3-1 in Champions League, like we won 3-1 at Dortmund, the first time that Lippi was playing Champions League with his team. We did a bit of the same. Lippi was able to do 4 wins in a row. So if we want to emulate and if we want to believe that this Juventus can do something epic and spectacular in Champions League, we need to win today against Stuttgart, and then the next game, the 4th game of Champions League against Lille, if I'm not wrong. The game of THIAGO Motta is really important. It's really important. We see it. We are first in the top 5 leagues in terms of open play sequences with more than 10 passes. We reach 196, equal to Real Madrid, 2 more than Paris Saint-Germain, 6 more than Bayern Munich and Manchester City. We are not perfect, but we really see that THIAGO Motta is really putting his game. What a total change from last year to this year. And Hoeneß, the coach of Stuttgart, he knows that Juventus can be a really dangerous team. He says, pay attention. It's impressive. They never concede any goal. It's true that in Champions League we conceded 3 goals, but 2 of them comes on a penalty. He knows, he said, pay attention, because it's a team that is extremely difficult. Now I'm asking myself, what kind of game will they play? If they play open, they have the risk to take again 4 goals like they did against Bayern Munich. If they play too low and too close, well, they will probably not be that offensive, and I don't think that's the mentality of Hoeneß. They have a really strong player, a real leader, that is Undaf. We know it, the guy that there as a number 10 kind of position. He knows how to go and shot on target. So pay attention to Undaf really seriously. Pay attention to the pressing. It's a team that is really pressing super high, but they always press towards the direction of the ball. So if they are with 4 or 5 players and the ball is on the right side, they will move all of them on the right side. That will be extremely important for us to change. So I will not be surprised to see again a Juventus with 2 wingers and Conceição and Yildiz extremely wide, because if you attract all of them on one side and you open on the other side, well, you are finding easiness to find these wingers that can then make the difference. So pay attention to that. Mittelstadt, that will be a big, huge game between Conceição and Mittelstadt. Mittelstadt is one of the players that is the national team left back. Winning over Raum, you remember Conceição against Raum, disaster for the German left back. Well, now let's hope we can do the same, but pay attention because it's a player that always goes up, Hoeneß, he loves that his players are going up on the wings, a team that is playing extremely vertical, and they build from the back. So it's a beautiful team. It's really a beautiful team. I know that we are on the wave of everything is going well and it's nice and Juve will win. Champions League is easy at the moment. Pay attention. Don't underestimate them. And then I told you I wanted to speak about why Weston McKennie is playing this evening. It's Wea that is telling us beautiful interview. He didn't speak a lot, honestly, about Juve. He spoke about how he grew up, his objectives in his career, his passions, etc., etc. And then he spoke about Juve. He spoke also about Weston McKennie. First, he said, he's a big part, also the reason why I am at Juve, because I knew him from before. We were already great friends, and knowing that I had the chance to play with him at Juve, well, it helps me. He says, if you are noticing the games with USA, but also with Juve, when I play close to him, are actually the games where I played the best. Then he said, I honestly think that Weston McKennie is good at everything. I think that he is a tank physically, that he has a tank physically that no one else has. He runs 24/7. He's one of the highest jumpers I have ever seen. He scored so many important goals off set pieces. That's something that Juventus miss, and maybe that's also why today he's playing, because he's dangerous on these set pieces. He says he's one of those box-to-box players that are just killers, and he's so important to have in the team. He spoke really well about him, about his energy, having a player that is able to have that energy and transmit that energy. So beautiful words, really important word from Wea to Weston McKennie. And I don't think it's because they are from USA, both of them. No, it's really sincere. And what is describing things that we already noticed at Juve. Then he also spoke about Juventus being able to win Serie A. He said, look, we are unbeaten in Serie A. And if you watch the majority of our games, the way that we play, we never take goals, or we don't take goals. We dominate, we score as well. It's a really fun season. We play a bit more attacking, we play a bit more possession, we play a bit more offensive than last year. It's really fun this season and things are going well. Does he believe that we can win the Scudetto? He said, yes, we have the chances to win the Scudetto. Of course, pay attention, because Inter is still the favorite, where Marcus Thuram, brother of Kefren, is playing. We like Marcus Thuram, we don't like Inter. Beautiful words. I like that. Anyway, Inter. It's the next game, so we don't focus on that. We focus on Juve, Stuttgart with pre-game. Watch along here, and then post-game also here on the channel, everything in English, together with the Juventini of the world. Grazie, forza, Juve. Ciao ragazzi, ciao!